Every ounce of your being is made up of molecules of energy vibrating at different frequencies that determine your experience here on planet Earth.
This podcast's intention is to inspire you to elevate the vibration of your energy for yourself and for all of us. This is The Elevator.
Hop on in and ride into the ethers with Britt and Tara of Elevate the Globe.
Welcome back to The Elevator. And this week, our sponsor is our 528 Academy. And it is our spiritual lifestyle membership site where we follow along with the astrology of the season. And we're meditating together and we're making recipes and reading books and doing challenges all aligned with the astrology of the season. And we're now doing full moon or new moon live Kundalini classes. So we're so happy about this community. We love it.
Yes, it's growing so much.
It is.
And it's becoming such a big part of our lives and all of our members' lives. And yes, we just added this month the full or new moon gatherings. So it's going to be live gatherings. We know we all like to do something special on the new or the full moons. And we actually received a message from our guides that instead of quarterly live Kundalini classes in the 528 Academy, they should be new or full moon classes.
So that's what we do now.
We listen. So right now we are offering a free 7-day trial to get in our monthly membership program because we know that we want so many of you to just experience how beautiful this community is. So everybody should definitely get in with that. And if you know you are committed to the 528 Academy and this high vibrational lifestyle aligning with the cosmos, then you can get in with the year price, which is almost 5 months off. And we're giving away our Intro to Kundalini collection for free when you join for the year. So we're giving all the love.
Giving gifts.
We're all about the love and the gifts. So head on over to elevatetheglobe.com/528 Academy and hop on in and join us for Aries season and to really get through this Mercury in retrograde with grace and beauty.
Yeah, if you didn't know Mercury was in retrograde, it is. Until April 15th. So everyone's also been asking us about our Live Spring water bottles. They are orbs. And they're these cool, like little globes that we've been carrying around. And they have the flower of life around the whole thing. And it's so cool. And we actually are having the founder, Mukunde, on the podcast in a couple weeks.
So excited for that. Yes. So he has these glass water bottles and they also have 2.5 gallon glass bottles and they are a spring water delivery service. So if you're in LA and the other areas that they deliver, it's such a good option for high quality, high vibrational water. But no matter where you are, you can get the water bottles that we're obsessed with. It's so cool. Like everybody literally is like, what is that?
What are those things? They're beautiful.
Yeah. And with the flower of life, that raises the vibration of the water. So super conscious way to consume and hydrate your water.
Consume and hydrate. Yeah.
And Mukunde was so awesome to give us a discount code for you guys for our community. So if you use the code Elevate the Globe, you will get 30% off, which is super generous. And
it really is.
Off of anything on their site.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to incorporate more hydration into your life. Use the code Elevate the Globe for 30% off. So welcome back to The Elevator, and we could not be more excited to introduce today's guest, Shaman Durek. And we had such a beautiful experience interviewing him. We felt a strong connection to him before we met, just through seeing him on Instagram and listening to him on other podcasts. But it was confirmed how connected we feel to him when we met. He is probably the best hugger that we've ever hugged.
He is, yes. He kind of pulls you in.
Yes, and his energy is so loving and kind, and he shared so much with us. Even our editors who have listened to a lot of his podcast episodes said that, wow, you guys, he really shared things that he hasn't shared at all before and that I have never heard him say. So we felt very fortunate to go into the things that we went into with him, and we really talked about so much. Of course, the elevator, we're so much about spirituality. So he really talked about how we make being a spiritual being more complicated than it needs to be. We go into ayahuasca and other forms of like spiritual drugs and how that does not make you a shaman. And we really hear his take on all of that. He talks about how there is no future and just more about things that we're focusing on versus what we really should be focusing on. And he drops so much wisdom, and it's a beautiful transmission of energy. And he just really gives tips that we've been able to use and practices that we've started incorporating into our lives that have really helped us a lot in just a few weeks.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know who Shaman Durek is, he's a third generation shaman, and he's been studying and practicing shamanism for years. And he acts as a mediator or a bridge between the spiritual and physical plane. So he's a spirit shaman, and he really, brings this ancient spiritual wisdom to, and all of his years of practice to the world in a very, I would say, relatable way. It's actually really cool to watch and to understand a little bit more about shamanism and how this ancient practice can be used in the modern age. So he's pretty phenomenal. And he comes from a long lineage of spiritual practitioners and shamans. So again, he is a third generation shaman. And he, works with a lot of celebrities, and he works with just a lot of people in general. Like anyone can get a session with him, and he's, he can see a lot. He was seeing a lot of stuff on me and near me, and we had a lot of conversations about stuff that was surrounding me. And like, we go into the podcast too a little bit on my relationship stuff. So you kind of get a little bit deep, and you get to hear a little bit of my own neuroses in my head. So enjoy.
And we are so honored to have Shaman Durek on the podcast. We're so excited for you guys to listen about everything we talked about. And we're so happy to call him our friend now and to be really connected to such a beautiful being, sharing so much light in the world and really elevating the globe in such a powerful way. So without further ado, enjoy the show. Welcome back, guys, to the elevator, and welcome, Shaman Durek.
Thank you, everyone.
We are so excited and happy to have you here, and so honored.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yes, we're so happy to dive into so many questions that we have for you, and we really appreciate all of your work in the world and what you're doing to elevate consciousness and really make such a difference in people's lives and the collective consciousness.
Thank you, love.
Yeah.
Thank you. So kind. I'm like, wow.
So for our listeners, a lot of people don't know what a shaman is. Can you explain for everyone what a shaman is, what you do? And I know there are different kinds. So what kind that you are?
I'm a spirit shaman. And basically what a shaman is that we are here to assist people into putting the power back in their hands and recognizing their truest potential outside of the mirror and the reflection that life has casted upon them through, be it religion or school or any kind of authority figure that took away their true identity of who they are. And so shamanism, we intercede with both nature and spirit. We have access to ancient information, knowledge, magic, you name it. And a true shaman is one who can actually move energy without having to use any type of, any kind of tools to do so. We can access sacred symbols and move people through different dimensions, access different ways of consciousness. As you ladies just experienced before we got on the show, I was showing you how to access some of the powers. And that's just like a small, thing of it. But the thing is, the most important thing of being a shaman is to be a steward for life and to be a preserver of life so that we can, really bring back what is necessary in order to forward our species and bring harmony both to our our species, but also to the animal kingdom and to the natural elements on Earth.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were being led through some different shamanic exercises before we started, and we were doing a lot of energy work and just feeling so much through Shaman Durek's practices. So it's very, very powerful.
Yes, you've already dropped a lot of knowledge for us. So we're excited to share. It's like, being delivered at the perfect time. Britt and I were actually talking about grounding a lot. Yesterday, we were getting messages that we weren't as grounded as we really needed to be. So the fact that we just did a grounding practice with you, one that I've never experienced before, was pretty special. So, and it was just the answer to what we needed. So
It's a pleasure to be of service.
Yes. Thank you.
Great. So could you give a little elevator pitch, we like to say, about just a little more about you?
Yeah. So I was chosen in my family to be a shaman. I was at 5 years old when I first started exhibiting the certain gifts that elders look for to see that you are the next in line shaman. Some of those gifts were being able to trance, being able to hold energy, being able to understand and see spirits of our ancestors, as well as being able to see colors and see certain types of dimension doorways where other beings were. And so at that particular time, my mom made it very clear that, that my grandmother was correct and I was to be next in line. But my father was very more stern about it because he grew up with it. So he was more like, I want you to be a normal kid, because I wasn't a normal kid. And I was, I didn't have the kind of lifestyle that I want to give you, which is like to not have people look at you like you're a freak and, whatever. And at a young age, I didn't really understand that, but he was always like saying to me, like, no, like, don't use these gifts. Like, like this is, the world won't understand it and so forth. And my dad is a great guy, but I definitely would say that he was a scaredy cat of, cared too much about what people thought, and so he wouldn't let me start my training until I was about 11 years old. But up until that time, I was getting a lot of prep anyway from my ancestors and my mom, and it was really good. But when I started doing the training at 11 years old, when you actually start going into the training as a shaman, your first parts are really easy. It's kind of like just observation and paying attention to like what the energy that's around you and seeing if you notice different subtle changes in the energy fields. Most people spend their life walking through the energy fields and they have no idea that there's even energy around them because they're just kind of busybody. But in shamanic practice, you spend a lot of time just observing the nuances of energy and the different sensations that come through you and different sensations in each environment. And then you learn a lot about body language, watching people, looking at their, if their eyes are dilating, if their skin changes color, are they sweating, would they seem more dry, do they seem more wet, moist, and how do they talk? What kind of inflections and tones do you hear in their tone, in their tonal pronunciations, and how they speak, as well as the way that they conduct themselves in their energy environment. Are they aware of the energies that are around them? Are they not aware of the energies that are around them? And then you look at nature, you look at animals, and you do the same exact thing. But all of that, leads you to getting into the deeper part of it, which is really learning the deep core energies of shamanism, the tribal understandings of shamanism, from sociology to, understanding, basic understandings of anthropology. And then going, as you get older and older, you get more and more. And then you start learning about the body, physiology, kinesiology, pathology, and, it gets more and more and more. So I basically guarded my life in my trainings. I was a very astute student and very adapt very quickly. I moved through things very quickly, whereas some shamans can take something of maybe 40 years or so. I was moving things like within 5-6 year periods of being able to show and master certain skills. And now I spend my life going around the world. I'm a women's activist. I fight for women's rights, bringing awareness to different societies and cultures and systems that are based in religion, or in theories and practices where women are being oppressed and being held back from their ability to shine and be the leaders in their communities and also the cornerstones of our society. I also go and help people learn shamanism. I put the power back in people's hand, wanting to make shamanism much more of a lifestyle choice as it would be, some kind of like woo-woo and hoo-hoo thing. Because a lot of times you see people going into any kind of spiritual practice. I work with the mainstream part of the world, whereas some people just only focus with like the spiritual part, and people who just like know the words love and light and heart hugs and all these things that go along with this like very trendy spiritual movement. But I work with the people who are like the top executives, the CEOs, the bankers, the hedge funds, the Wall Street execs, the public figures, the athletes, the singers, the doctors, both allopathic and holistic, psychologists, psychotherapists. Like I'm the one they go and see, because I'm a person who understands the way they think, and I bring shamanism to them in a way in which they can understand to adapt, which I think is important.
Right. Yes. So important. That's what we feel so much about you. Like you make it so relatable. And we feel that's so important for what the world really needs right now. People need to be able to relate so they understand, and so that more people can adapt, not just the spiritual people.
There's so many, like when you think of a shaman, most people think of like, somebody in like the rainforest. Like it's so cool that you're bringing these practices to the masses again. Yeah. In this new age, it's very much a ground. I feel like the energy is like of the earth, and it's grounding, and it's beautiful. It's like you were saying earlier, it's like magic.
Yeah.
It's working with the energies like magic.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the reasons why we've had so many difficulties in society and like world calamities and the things that we've been going through that's been at this all-time high is because a lot of shamans were left out of the picture. Mm-hmm. Because the whole purpose of a shaman is to be able to look at the tribe, which would be the global tribe, and to see where we are making choices that aren't governed in love and governed in acknowledging one another as individual power to support one another. So every single person matters, right? And so in shamanism, we see is every person matters in the tribe. And if one person is off in that tribe, it's not because of that person, it's because of the tribe. And so it's not about singling out that person, and pushing them aside and ostracizing them and saying like, you don't belong, but more about welcoming them in. So my Hawaiian things, I get like these little. So anyway, yeah. So welcoming them in and giving them the ability to see their power in a loving way versus like, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, you're like the black sheep, you're this, you're that. And so society has no space for you. And then these people end up becoming the criminals and the things that we actually see on our planet that aren't pleasant because they have felt so completely, outcast and not loved.
Oh, makes so much sense. Yeah, I feel like that's what happens a lot because people feel like they resist, especially people on a new spiritual path. It's like you almost feel resistant to anything that's not that. Mm-hmm. So how do you teach that, or how would somebody be able to start practicing that, I guess?
Well, the first thing is to get out of the ego, get out of the space of like, doing things spiritual because it makes you spiritual.
Yes.
Right? It's kind of get out of that. Because I had this one woman say to me like, oh, my husband's not spiritual, but I am, and da-da-da. And I said, well, is your husband wanting to evolve? And she said, yes. And then he's spiritual. Because any form of evolution requires you to step outside of your present condition to be able to see a greater picture that you can actually go into and bring that information into your life and then apply it to your life, right? So the true understanding of spirituality is the ability to be able to go outside of from where you are. And in order to do that, you got to be humble. You got to have humility. You have to be willing to be wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think the first step is in order to be able to kind of start that practice is to first start the practice of looking at what you already know and ask yourself, is this information that's like for your ego, or is this information that it's actually applied to your life in the here and now, right? Because I think a lot of times people will say to me, oh, like, can you tell me my past lives? And I'm like, I can, but is it necessary?
Right.
Right? It's like the necessary function it would be is how does it apply to your life right now? And I think a lot of the people that I work with in the world, the reason why they like working with me is because I'm very consistent in my no-nonsense beliefs, which is like, what does this have anything to do with your evolution versus more of it being like, some kind of like fun time, like let's go look at our past lives. Yay.
You're like, let's get down to business.
Yeah, like let's look at like this life and and the rock star things you're going to do in this life versus.
Yeah. And there's so much, it is fun to go back and look at all the other things, but I feel like this urgency for the earth to, move forward and evolve. Is that kind of where your no nonsense kind of comes from, or where is that coming from?
Yeah. So the earth really, honestly, is really doing what it can to assist us in the adaptation of our species, but the earth will move before us, and has and will continue to. The earth is not going to wait for us to evolve. The earth is going to continue its own evolutionary position, and if we are in alignment with that position, then great, we get to stay on the earth and habitat, with the other animals and the other species. But if we don't, then we will be our own destructors. And so, at this period of time in evolution, shamans, we call this time the blackout period. This is the time when darkness has to show itself at the strongest so that we can actually see what we've actually done with our power, how we've used our thinking, how we've operated with each other in social systems. What have we been drawing our attention to the most versus what we should be drawing our attention to, right? And then looking at the breakdown of society, like why is things the way it is? Mm-hmm. Let's look at the structure. And the structure actually has been not at the highest level because women are a huge part of the pillars of the structure. They're the ones who bring life. They're the ones who have the double chromosome. They're the ability to see all the possible dangers. They have the ability, they have a stronger sense of flight or fight awareness. Mm-hmm. So they are able to see the possibility of danger on a quantum level than men do. So women, if they're not in those positions or those pillars of society will already be weakened. Mm-hmm. So the first key in order to actually really start to see why this emergence is taking place is like right now the emergence is to clean up the mess that you created, right? Mm-hmm. Not make more of it by going into victim consciousness and woe is me and oh my God, can you believe who our president is? And oh my God, look what's happening to us. And oh my God, I can't believe this is going on right now in the world. That actually does nothing but put more dirt on the floor.
Yes.
Good.
So as far as like the shootings that are taking place and the natural disasters, it's like people, I feel like, go directly into the victim consciousness because they don't know another way because they feel it so much. So how do we move out of that victim consciousness when these things are happening so often and it feels...
Well, I mean, there's things happening all over the world. I mean, I work in countries where bombs are going off and tanks are coming down the street and coups are happening and all kinds of different things. And women, being sold into slavery and trafficking. And I mean, the list goes on. Yeah. I mean, I think what we see in America, if we're talking about America, is America has always been sheltered from the rest of the world. And I think what's happening now is that the window has been open and you're getting actually a reality to see what the other part of the world has been going through. And so this is kind of like an awakening period for the American people, which is like, you can't keep stuffing things under the rug and thinking that it's not affecting people. The shootings and all these things are horrifying. And yet at the same time, they're unnecessary evils. And it's like, and that's the, how do we say, that's kind of like the devil's advocate, It's like they're necessary evils in the sense that it sucks and it hurts and it's painful and it's unpleasant that families have to lose their kids and people have to get hurt and twin towers have to fall down and all these type of things. But we are on this planet in itself is lodged in the wheel of suffering. Now, this has been taught back all the way from the time of Buddhism, from when Lord Siddhartha was around to the ancient ones who spoke, all the great teachers. The wheel of suffering means is that we stay in perpetual motion because we keep doing the same thing that keeps us in that motion. Mm-hmm. So the wheel of suffering is the only way we choose to change is by going through pain and suffering. Okay. Once we get sick and tired of the pain, we say, okay, we're going to change. Like, just give an example of this. Twin Towers falls. I was in New York prior to the Twin Towers falls. I couldn't find maybe one yoga studio and maybe 25 block radius, even maybe more than that. There was no mindful centers. Juice bars didn't exist. There was like one juice bar, I remember, and I had to travel all across town to get to it. It was not the norm. Mm-hmm. Twin Towers falls. yoga centers on every other corner, mindful centers, juice bars, whole wellness community being built,
Wow.
people meditating more. Friends of mine who thought that was crazy that I was doing yoga at the time and doing things, for my health and well-being, because I had worked with a holistic doctor when I was really young who taught me about all these spirulinas and blue-green algae and kombucha, which was Manchurian mushroom, and all these different things. All of a sudden it became this new thing.
Yeah.
So it became this, this awakening that is like, oh my God, we have to have these things now. But did it have to take the Twin Towers to be able to fall, to get the people's attention, to want to change and evolve?
Yes.
I mean, how do we break that though? Why have we chosen? I mean, I don't know if we even understand why we've chosen this wheel of suffering, but is there a way we can, break that and not necessarily have to do that as a planet or as a consciousness anymore? Is that something that can be broken, or is that just the way that we've chosen?
Yeah, it can be broken. But in order to break it, we have to take what is called social responsibility, self-responsibility, and integrity in the way in which we operate towards anything that revolves around evolution. Our whole idea of evolution is that evolution has to be painful and hurt.
Right.
So every time people go through spiritual things, they're like, oh my God, I have to go through pain. I mean, literally people will cry and they don't really need to cry, but they cry because they think they have to cry because it goes along with the package of their change. Right? Yeah. And the thing is that, human beings are using the form of, depletion to suffering, to being a victim as a way for them to see the energy that they are actually holding on to. But it doesn't need to be dwelled upon. The consciousness of spirit is to be able to lift oneself out of the suffering, out of the disparity, out of the pain, out of these things, to look beyond the illusion that we've created and create something new. So it's kind of like, the best way I can put it is like, you are in the muck, but as you're in the mud, you've already created a new world for you to step into.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's really cool. And then you just have to step into it.
Yeah, because you're
already
creating
created
it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going like, oh, look, I'm going to focus on the mud, which is what most people do. You're in the mud and you're already built in your mind the new world. So all you do is just step out of that mud and go right into the new world. And the mud means nothing to you anymore.
Right. And you don't have to cry about it.
You got it.
Right. It's like there's no need instead of, so there's basically, because we talk about the emotional scale a lot, like there's no need to go down into the dumps, really. It's like you can really just
anger,
step
the
in.
fear. What do you feel about?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people choose to do that so they can have much more of an emotional connection to it, right? There's a connection to people. People feel a connection to pain.
Yeah.
They, I call them hurt collectors. I came up with this word because I was realizing that, like, wow, my friends, like, they collect things and they collect hurt.
Yeah.
And they like to talk about it at cafes, at dinners, at this, at that. Like, I don't want to spend time in your woe is me's. Like, I don't want to swim through the field of, like, the swimming pool of woe is me. I want to walk with you and look at possibility. And it's the same thing. Like, when someone's sick in the hospital, it's the same analogy. Someone's sick in the hospital. You have two choices. You can go in that hospital and you can cry a river and make them sicker, right? Which means that you accept the reality as it is. Reality is constantly moving and changing. It's quantum. So if you accept the reality, you get attached to it, you're pinned into it. That means that your spirit now anchors itself into that reality. But if you walk into a hospital and you see someone sick and you go, you know what I love? I love that I'm here watching you mend your body. Your cells are getting stronger. Your body's getting even more stronger. Your mind is clear. All this healing energy is pouring into your system. Where would you like me to put the flowers? I'm so happy to be here to witness your powerful healing going on. It changes the whole format because while the sickness is no longer now, the mind has now shifted into the possibility of no sickness. And so therefore, this is the quantum choice that is now being made for what humans would call their future, which is no such thing because you're creating the future in every now moment, right? And so you want to know where you are right now is because what you were creating in the past moment. So what you're thinking right now actually creates your tomorrow and your next day and your next day after. But most people don't understand the quantum field. They don't understand how the quantum reality of life looks. So what they do is they get so transfixed on the situation. Like if they're having money problems, they're like, oh, I have money problems. And the fact that they put their energy on that, They're going to have more money problems because tomorrow they've already they set the energy, because whatever you say now becomes the past. And what I just told you became the past. And so now the next day or 2 minutes from now or 5 minutes from now, everything that I just said is now creating a whole new universe for me.
Yes.
Does that universe expand behind you in the past?
It expands all around you.
All around you.
Yeah. So like I always say, people like mind what you say and mind what you think, because if you are going to think and you're going to speak in a way that's for you, not against you.
Right. Yes.
Are your thoughts and your words, do they have like a hierarchy of like what's most important to, like if you were thinking something but you switch it and then you say it, or if you said something that was negative and then you switch it in your mind, is there one that's more powerful than the other, or are they both equal?
If you have a negative thought in your mind, then that means that it's coming up because it's ready to leave. Okay. Right? And when people make these little comments, which is like the ones that I just laugh at, where it's like, it's so down deep inside. It's so in there. I don't even know if I can get to it. It's like they think like these emotions or these pains that they've gone through in life are like dug down in them. Like someone like took a shovel and dug it in them.
It's in my feet.
And like put it in there deep and like covered up with like layers and layers and layers of dirt. But in fact, it's actually, if you're actually thinking about it and it comes to your mind, the way your body operates, it operates on the level of your spirit. Your spirit always knows how to make correction within you. But what happens is people reinforce the poison back into their beings by their words and by their thinking. So if you are wanting to see shift and change, you have to realize that any negative thought that's coming to your mind, it's because your spirit is like, I'm bringing this to your mind so you can see what's ready to go. So now you go, I hear what you're saying. Okay, well, guess what? That doesn't work for me anymore. I was wrong about that. So now I'm ready to let that go because I'm willing to admit humbleness and humility to it, right? So the way to change anything is, one, just accept humility and be like, I was wrong. Like I'm the first, when I do something like in the public or I say something, like even recently I had said something and like, I just admit like, okay, I was wrong. And like get into that space and feel how good it feels to be wrong. And then all of a sudden what happens is now you can create a whole new level of consciousness for yourself because you're willing to completely be comfortable of letting go the old consciousness. In order to let something go, you must see it and realize that you created it and then let it go.
Oh, that is, I mean, that's what this whole age is about, like you were saying. It's so interesting. So just taking somebody through it, right? So if I had a negative thought in my mind, I shouldn't say it out loud. I should just try to, shift it and look at humility, right?
I think if you have a belief behind it, then sometimes it just compounds and compounds and compounds and it can't be released. Like, do you want to say your example?
There's no such thing, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
There's your brain doesn't compound anything.
Okay. So this what's been happening for me recently is this thought, because this is all relationship related to me, but for the past 6 years, it seems to me, and this is the thought that I bring, and it's not, and I know it's not true, but it's that people leave me.
No, you don't know it's not true. You still believe it.
I still believe that it's true.
So that's what I guess meant by compounding.
It to be true, but it's like not compounding. It's not compounding.
Okay.
So let's remove the word compounding. Compounding is a layer of many things.
Okay.
It's not compounding. Like it's reinforced by her.
Yes.
Okay.
She reinforces it because she needs it.
Okay.
She wants it.
Right. I do.
Yeah, because she wants it. You want to know why?
Please tell me why.
Repeat my sentence. Okay. I like to hold on to the belief that people leave me all the time, so I get to. Go ahead.
I like to hold on to the belief that people leave me all the time, so I get to.
Finish the blank.
Have freedom.
Yep. And by having freedom, I don't have to deal with.
By having freedom, I don't have to deal with other people. I know. It's
when something doesn't leave someone, it's not because there's something buried deep inside. It's because they like it.
I know.
But they don't want it. But their spiritual side, right? What you just said, it's so stupid. That's the side that judges you for being honest.
Yes.
Right? And that's why people don't go into their shadow, because they can't believe that they're saying, oh my God, I can't pay my bills. but I really want prosperity. So they'll go to all these prosperity workshops and they'll be like, I want prosperity. And then they come and sit down with me and I'm like, you're lying. You don't want prosperity. Let's be honest about it, because if you did, you'd have it. So let's talk about the part of you that doesn't want it, and let's stop playing the one that you want to believe that wants it, because because you're judging yourself for thinking the truth about what you really feel about prosperity. So I'm like, why do you not want money? And they're like, oh God, well, I guess, okay, fine. If I'm going to be honest, money's evil. It's this, it's that. It ruins your life. It ruined my father's life. And ever since then, he was never able to pick himself up. And like the list goes on and on. Because human beings are taught that to be honest about what they feel, they're going to get in trouble. So you've created a certain aspect of your consciousness to punish you and make you wrong for being honest. Like I had a girl say to me, I can't stand my boyfriend. He irritates me and this and that and the other. I go, no, he doesn't. He irritates you because he doesn't have the kind of job that you think he should have. He's not living in the house that you think he should live in. Just be honest about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so stop fighting the guy. Just go be with the guy who has what you want. This is ridiculous. You're creating needless, like, it's called suffering in vain. It's like, right?
That's what it feels like in my body too. I'm like, girl,
it feels that way in your body because you're not willing to be honest.
I know, you're right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If we were to look at your like patterns, right? So let's look at your patterns. Patterns are this. Patterns means that you were in a relationship with someone who took a lot of your energy and time. You caretaked for them. You put a lot of energy in them. You made everything about them. And because of that, it was like not about you. So your way of taking your power back is by saying like, I will never put myself in a codependent relationship ever again, because that means that I don't want to be the mother to anyone. So you don't want to be the slave to anyone, the mother to anyone. You don't want a caretaker. You want someone to show up who's like, I got my shit together. I'm here to show up with you. I don't expect anything of you other than let's have a great time. Let's have great conversations. Let's have great sex. Let's have great friendship. And that's it. You'll be cool. But your reason why you put a block around your relationships is because you actually believe that you have to give up something because you have no self-control. You have no self-control because every time you go into a relationship, my love, you throw everything out and make everything the other person.
Yep.
And so your soul goes, well, doesn't look like she's got any self-control yet, so we can't bring the relationship in because she doesn't want to be honest with the fact that she's the one who has no self-control of allowing herself to sustain her own happiness, sustain her own beingness in a relationship without losing oneself.
That is exactly true. Yeah.
See? So there's the game you're playing. So the game you get to play is because I haven't looked at my own boundaries and decided that I can sustain myself in a relationship while still honoring myself as a woman, I just choose not to have a relationship. And then I'm going to drive myself insane because of it by telling myself, like, I don't understand why I don't have a relationship and and all these little things you're doing, which is called suffering in vain.
It's just, it is.
And people do this all the time.
They do.
A woman says to me, I don't have a job. I can't find a job. And it's because you don't want a job. Woman says to me, I can't get pregnant. I have to go on IVF because you don't want a baby right now. Let's look. Then as soon as we look at it and I show them, then they're like, oh my God. And then it changes. All of a sudden they get pregnant. They're like, oh my God. They're like, Shaman Durek, thank you. I'm like, don't thank me. Thank yourself for being honest.
Yeah. It just comes down to honesty.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's the most, I call it the great refresher. It's so refreshing.
It really is.
It is refreshing. I feel really good right now. Honestly. Because it's like the truth, you know?
Oh my God. I'm dying.
I'm dying right now. I'm dead.
I just pictured like
this is great.
kombucha all over you.
Yeah, it's a great refresher. I kid you not. It's like those commercials with the wind is blowing in your hair and like everything is working out. It's like it changes everything. There's a little bit of honesty. That's why I love that whole saying. It's a biblical one, but it said the truth will set you free. I don't know why people don't get that. That should be billboarded all over the city. Yeah. Like, the truth will set you free. I kid you not. It changed my life. It changed my life. I remember so many things that I was suffering in vain for. And the moment I was willing to be honest about it, everything shifted.
Right.
It was just like, oh, wow. And then I would tell my dad. My dad would like make comments and I'm like, Dad, it's because you're lying. Because you're not being real about what you want. Like, so you're going to suffer because you choose to keep lying to yourself. But the thing is, the moment you actually see your truth, you can stop playing the game. Just be honest about it. If you don't want to deal with setting the boundaries for yourself to show that you can manage being independently clear in your being while maintaining a relationship, don't make it seem like the universe is blocking you. I know why people always think something's blocking them. They're like, I don't know, the universe is blocking me. I'm like, oh, God, I can't take it. You mean you? You mean you as God blocking you? Okay. You're like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm like, you don't? You don't really? Okay, wow. Because it's all right here.
It feels much easier to say that somebody's doing it to you.
Yeah.
And the universe
it's like,
is
I don't
doing
know why all these people are sucking on me, because you opened the door to all those vampires and you cut your wrist and let them suck off of you. It's just like common sense. People will say all kinds of things. They'll do all kinds of things. I don't know why my kid's sick. Your kid is sick because of you. Because of the things you're doing. Your kid is an empath. They're taking all your pain in. That's why they're like, they can't handle it. Their bodies are fragile. They're taking all you and your husband's nonsense in.
So, that's
what shamanism's about. It's called a dose of reality.
Okay.
The whole aspect of truly being a spiritual being is about coming down to common sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's like pull the nonsense, the fairy bunnies, all the little things that everyone's getting all involved in.
Yeah.
Like pull all that stuff out. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's fairies and there's all these beings, but even they are looking at it and being like, what? Why are you guys making it seem like this? It's not as difficult as you're making it. You're making it difficult because you think too much, and your thinking has you going in circles because you don't want to look at the truth. Your truth is so like right in front of you, and you're like, and you just keep turning your head looking. You keep turning your head looking, but you don't really want to get into it because you have this judgment like, why would I ever do something like that to myself? Why would I block myself from love? What kind of person am I? So you're going to get mad at yourself for playing your own game. That's why I love in shamanism, they have the coyote, the trickster, and I love in Nordic culture, they have Loki, because it's so perfect, because we do, it's a total reflection of ourselves. We play our own tricks upon ourselves. The game is up, y'all. The game is up. Good. Game's over.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and the truth will set you free. I think people see it all the time. They just don't think about it. They're like, I don't know what the heck that even means anymore.
Yeah,
they don't. So this is very enlightening. And it's interesting. I have witnessed this within myself, that it's almost even a fear as well. It's like I have worked on a lot of those personal boundaries, and it scares me though, even to because I'm like, can I actually do it? Can I not go full in and lose everything? I'm not sure. And then I pull back, and then I'm like, no, you can do this. But it is the truth was, I actually sat down and it still comes up. So I still believe it, but I sat down and was like, I actually realized for 5 years, I didn't want one, but I wanted one. But my mind said I wanted one, but I didn't really want one.
Right. But you're choosing, okay, there's a thing of basically, if you get into the core of it, right? Mm-hmm. The core would be, this would be the core. Okay, so I'm just going to shamanically scan your field. Okay, got it. Your core. Your core is the belief that you're not enough for the other person. Mm-hmm. Okay? So through that core belief, you hold on to the idea that that person has more to offer than you, and you don't have enough to offer. So you're afraid that they're going to leave already because you think you're not worthy enough for them to stay. Mm-hmm. But it's not about them leaving. It's about you leaving yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
your belief.
Yeah.
When people always say the outside belief is the outside belief is what they're afraid of. It's not. It's the inward belief. It's you think you're afraid that the person's going to leave. No, it always goes back to your soul. Your soul's afraid that you're going to leave.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where all abandonment comes from. It's not the fact that, I remember when my mom left, I had these abandonment issues for years. And then one day my elder sat me down and said, look at your abandonment issues and look at what it really is. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness. It's not the fact that my mom left. It's the fact that my mom left and I left me. Mm-hmm. And so I let things happen that I would never let happen because I abandoned myself. So I have to get back to me. And all of a sudden, abandonment issues, gone.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, like a golden light came in and just like lifted up my abandonment issues. I mean, it's amazing what you would find out when you're willing to really honor the truth that it's always here. It's like if
always
you
here.
always here. It's like if you say like the world, no one in the world, I don't trust the people in the world don't trust me. It means you don't trust yourself. If you say no one's ever there for me, it's because you're never there for yourself. It always goes back to the soul. It never is an outward reflection, ever.
Right.
Ever.
That makes so much sense.
It does.
Like, obviously, her being my best friend, like, I know that you, like, that would make so much sense that that's a fear of leaving yourself, because I never see, like, why you would think somebody would leave you. Yeah. But if you think that you're going to leave yourself, then that's a lot more serious.
It's very serious.
Well, that's what her soul feels.
It's a bit, that's a very...
See how she's scratching her neck?
Yeah. It's like, oof.
Wow.
Scratchy, scratchy. Yeah. Body language.
What does that mean?
So scratching the neck, playing with your jewelry, touching your neck, pulling the back of your neck, it means that this is an uncomfortable issue for you.
Yes.
This means that this is a core issue, and this is your power center. As you know, in Sanskrit, it is known as the Vishuddha. It's your place of power, your place of speaking word into being, right? So when someone touches their neck in a boardroom, or you're about to go on a business deal with them and they start playing with their neck, stop. It means that whatever you're talking about, whatever it is, it doesn't sit, it's uncomfortable for them. Wow. So simply ask them, what's uncomfortable about this deal? What's uncomfortable about what we're talking about? Start paying attention to body language. It's very important. Right? Like, for instance, you're also playing with your fingers on your knee, right? That's because you're thinking while we're talking. That's your way to balance your thought while being able to listen at the same time. So you're creating a finger movement that allows your brain and your mind to do two things at once. So you're multitasking right now. You're thinking and listening at the same time. So you're finding a multitasking ability. All of these things tell you things, right? And so even when you're taking the breath that you just took and your eyes were fluttering, right? That's because you're going through a healing right now. And so because I'm the one I'm bringing to you, there's a part of you going inside going like, oh my goodness. And it's like pulling more of this information up for you to see. So all of that is a part of the amazingness of spirit, right? It's recognizing and understanding that this is what's going on. And you can always look, if you spend more time observing life instead of acting out in life, you're going to see things you never thought existed. You're going to see body nuances and behaviors and ways that people talk, how they hold their breath when someone's listening. All these things mean something.
Wow. I feel like that seems like there's so much going on in your brain.
That's not my brain that's doing it. It's my spirit. My brain is here.
Okay.
Your spirit is the one that's picking up on all those nuances. I'm just aware that my spirit's doing it.
Okay.
This was very enlightening. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's also interesting because it's like everything you've said is, I know, but it was so unclear. It was like you just dropped it all on the floor in front of me, and I appreciate that. Like it's
a pleasure to serve you.
Very, very clear. So thank you.
Thank you.
I will not be leaving myself. That is not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, we just simply understand, like, look, it's very simple, really. It's you communicating to the lie you've told yourself.
Right.
And just saying it's wrong. It's like, it's okay to be wrong.
Yes.
Right.
This is a bad lie.
It's just a lie.
Yeah.
And it's not true. And I don't need to leave myself because I have something great to offer, and I'm giving myself wrong information. So watch, tell your little girl right now out loud, say, little girl.
Little girl.
That I've been lying to.
That I've been lying to.
Telling you that you're not enough.
Telling you that you're not enough.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I take full responsibility.
I take full responsibility.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're smart.
You're smart.
Intelligent.
Beautiful.
Insightful. You have a powerful intuition.
You have a powerful intuition.
You bring so much wisdom to the world. And I'm so happy to share this life with you. This is the truth of who you are. And everything else I said before was not.
You see what's happening?
It was
so mean.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that was like really mean to myself to do that for so long, you know?
But you're not going to judge that. We're not going to even judge that. You have to understand that meanness didn't come from you.
Yeah, it didn't.
That came from someone in your family. But we're not going to go deep into that because this is a show.
Yeah.
They don't need to know all your biz. My friend's always afraid when I'm on the dinner table. They're afraid the wife and the husband are like,
I know. I'm kind of like, what am I doing with my hands? Like,
that's what everyone says around me. Every time I get invited to dinner, my friends are like, we didn't know what you were going to say, what was going to come out of your mouth. I'm like, well, don't worry, I'm good.
I love it. Well, okay. I want to go back a little bit to what we were talking about when we're talking about our thoughts and how it's projecting our reality, and how, as like a devil's advocate, a lot of people can feel about that. And when they're manifesting, that it's a lie, because I do that all the time. Like, I'll say what I want and I'll say it as if it's here, and I'll practice all of that, getting in the energy. My daughter never gets sick. I haven't been sick in 10 years, you know. But how do you, I guess, deal with that mindset coming in of like, well, that's a lie?
Well, it's not a lie. It's a lie to you based upon the present circumstance that you're actually experiencing from your space of time dimension that you're looking at. Okay. You're a quantum dimensional being. And in fact, you never want to manifest from the now position.
Okay.
And you never want to manifest from the future position. Why? Because the future doesn't exist.
Okay.
So in shamanism, we look at everything in the sense that the future doesn't exist. There are multiple quantum levels of possibility, and they only exist when you're willing to draw your consciousness to it. So if you say, I want this, it's not possible, because the future isn't created until you create the past.
Okay.
So the past becomes the now, then the now becomes the past. The past becomes the now becomes the past. And it just moves in that sequence, right? So whenever you want to manifest something, you want it to show up in the now. So that means you have to actually manifest it from the past. So you wouldn't say, I want this, because there is no future.
Okay.
Your future is created. Do you understand?
Yes.
See, this is very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just very different.
She got the light. I saw the light bulb go on. It went, woo!
It did.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like,
the things were spinning at first, and your brain was like calculating it like calculus, and then you went, oh my goodness, this is crazy. That's why I said it so many times, so because it gets in there, you know?
Yeah.
Because like most people are focused on a linear perspective. They look at things in a linear motion. They look at things like, I want to create this in my life. I want to have that. They always think, oh, in the future, I'm going to be this. It's no, because the future doesn't exist. It's a void. And it's waiting for the creator, which is you, to fill it in. Right? So if you look at it in that way, you are the creator, and all of space is moving around you, right? In this very cyclical motion. It's waiting on you to fill it, to color the pictures in, to decide. That's why I said our species became our species because another planet and other beings dreamt us into reality. So we're here to get ourselves to a place of unconditional love so that we can dream other worlds into reality.
Wow.
This is the greatness of the universe, right? But right now we're because of our behavior, we're dreaming other dimensions into reality based in duality. So we keep perpetuating dualistic worlds, right? So we don't even realize that every time you're dreaming something into reality by the way you think and by the way you speak, right? So if you are operating from the idea that there's a future, there isn't yet until you say what it is. And that's what people don't understand. They have this very kind of like, this idea like there's like some kind of like golden thing that will come out of the sky and tell them like, why they're here and what they're here to do and all that. It's not based on that. It's based on your ability to find joy and love in whatever it is that you want to do as a creator. So I could have not chosen to be a shaman, but I chose to be the shaman because it was the greatest thing that brought me the greatest joy. So I was like, this is what I want to do, right? But the thing is that your past, so like if I was to create something to show up in my life, I would say, I love how amazing it was that I went on that vacation and all these things were taken care of for me. Everything moved so smoothly. And I got a beautiful gift from a friend to go on a vacation with them. All of a sudden, that's it. I'm done. I let it go. Okay?
Done.
Done. I spoke in past tense. It's done. Now the past becomes the now. And all of a sudden, I'm going to get a phone call from a friend or someone's going to say like, hey, would you like to go on a vacation? And people are like, how did you do that? Because I understand how the past becomes the now becomes the past. So the moment something is said, it now just becomes the past. And now, tomorrow, it will create what humans call future.
So there's no future.
No
future.
Oh, wow.
Future is just nixed out of the whole thing right now. We're not doing future.
There's no future.
There's
just
no
like
future.
There's no good karma, bad karma. All of that stuff was all generated out of, dualistic understanding of reality. Good karma, bad karma can't exist because it moves in a Santa Claus formation, just like the idea that God could be angry and God could get mad. It's not possible. So the thing is like, if the good karma and the bad karma was real, which I test because I have a lot of friends who are from India and they're always like, oh, that's good karma, that's bad karma. And I'm like, really? Because it doesn't seem like it. And in fact, like, I have a lot of friends I have a lot of friends who are really beautiful people and just horrible things keep happening to them. So explain me that. And I know people who are wealthy and doing horrible things in the world with their money and they're getting richer and plumper. So it's like
plumper.
Yeah, they're getting plump.
So true. Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, but the good karma, bad karma thing is created out of a false understanding of duality. And the fact of the matter is, it's not based on a system of good versus bad. It's based on a system of will. Let thy will be done. That's it. What you say, what you believe will manifest. That's it. If you believe that you should be punished, you will be punished. The universe, the creation is a creator. It is not a judge. It doesn't hold scales and put stones on scales and weigh out your life. It doesn't do that. It has no time for that. It just creates. So as you think it, so be it. If you believe that you could be a politician one day and you really believe it, you will be. If you believe that you deserve to be wealthy and that money should come to you easily because you did all these great things and that's what you really believe and that's your real belief, you will have it. Mm-hmm. If you believe that men are hard to come by and that's what you believe, the universe will make sure that no men will come by. Mm-hmm. If you believe that your healing is going to take a long time because it's way down deep in there and you don't know if you're ever going to be able to heal it, then that's what will happen. You are the creator creating with the co-creative experience of creation. That means creation is basically an energy source that just creates everything you say. And then what time does is gives you a chance to understand the laws of physics and understand the components of being able to change your mind. You actually have a belief that there is time actually happening. So it gives you this idea that I could change the way I think. Fine. Go ahead, change the way you think. If you need some form of time and you need some form of some kind of factor that presents to you the idea of change, such as like causing yourself pain in order to change or creating war in a country in order to make us care about the world, then that's what humans choose to do. So be it. However, that is not how you don't have to operate in that way. And in fact, you have inside of you an awareness of outside of time and space that happens all the time that you don't even realize it's even happening. When you're in the state of daydreaming or you're in the state of being caught up in like energy that's very like a great conversation or whatever, time becomes no longer necessary. Because the energy of the emotions is now fully engaged and time is irrelevant because the only thing that's irrelevant is the feeling in the moment.
Mm. Yes.
I'm sorry. That was.
It makes so much, like, you don't have to have any amount of time to manifest anything or do anything unless you believe that you do.
That's right. It's your belief.
We really need to be
getting
looking
the reality of the world that they want to see.
Yeah, we really need to be looking at the beliefs and the things that we're telling ourselves.
It's all about the beliefs.
I'm gonna choke on my
yeah,
because it's so true. Because that's the reason why I get a little unnerved when I see parents start to dictate to their children the way the world looks. You don't know what the world looks like to your child. Don't be so arrogant and so ignorant that you think that your world looks like that to your child. And when you start telling your child that, you're dismantling the way they see the world. Mm-hmm. They might see the world filled with colors and love and energy, and that's all that's going to happen to them in their life is beautiful things. But because you've shared your horrifying stories and your dark night tales of despair and destruction, now your child is like, oh, that exists?
Yeah.
Because they trust you, because you are supposed to guide them with wisdom and grace to be able to see a world that is possible. So if you tell them that these things exist, then they believe it. That's why I love the whole thing, like, kids believe in Santa Claus, they believe in all these different things, and then if someone comes along and says it's not real, like, let them believe whatever they want to believe. I remember one girl said to me, her parents kept saying to me, yeah, she says some ET visits her at night. I said, oh, did she? And they're like, yeah. So I sat down with the girl and the parents. I said, so tell me about the ET that visits you. She's like, it's usually after I go to bed, this ET comes into the room and starts talking to me and gives me all this love and tells me that I'm going to be an artist and all these different things. And the father's like, that's ridiculous. He's like, so what do you mean? Like, she's like, do you see what I'm talking about, Shaman Durek? She has delusions. Like, she's like, she has to stop. Like, he's like, she has to stop believing that an ET is coming and visiting her at night. And I was like, how do you know an ET is not visiting her at night? Do you see the ET? How do you know your perception could even see an ET? Perhaps you've been so programmed that your perception is only allowing you to see what's in front of you. Perhaps you don't even see a lot of things that other people see. That's the arrogance that I'm talking about. It's ignorant to say fairies don't exist because you don't know how to see them. Angels don't exist, but you don't know how to see them. Energy auras don't exist. It doesn't exist. It's crazy. It's quacky. It's whatever. But you don't know how to see them. That's the reason why I work with a lot of general public, because they come in with that attitude. Their skeptic belief systems. They're like, yeah, well, I don't believe in energy. One woman interviewed me in London and said, oh, I don't believe in these things. I come from science and da-da-da-da. I go, get ready for a nice surprise today, because you're going to see something, because I'm going to open you up to see it. And afterwards, she was like, oh my God, you flipped my whole world upside down. I had no idea these things exist. I've taken people who are businessmen and showed them that fairies exist. And they're like, what? What is this? Because you can't see it. It's like when you have a cell phone and you have those filters. You got filters, people. Don't think you know everything. You don't. You don't see a lot of things. Your eyes your perception can only perceive that which you believe. Remember that.
Yes.
Your perception can only see what you believe, unless someone shows it to you and you become, as they say in Indiana Jones, a true believer. Remember that? Yes. Remember Temple of the Doom? Yes. Remember Indiana Jones? Dr. Jones, you be a true believer. Drink the blood of Kalima.
We all need to be the true believers.
Seriously, too much.
Oh my God. No, I feel like it's like we only have these senses, and then our senses can be opened up even more and even more. And to believe that they're at their full capacity at any given moment is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole ayahuasca thing. Everyone thinks if they run and go grab ayahuasca or iboga or like morning glory or any of these things that they're going to see something. Not everyone's going to see something. Some people might just get a body experience. Some people might just throw up and poop all over themselves. Now be the end of their night.
Yeah,
and some people might just sit there and stare at people and think they're all crazy. Everyone will have their own experience. It's not a guarantee for the light show.
Oh my
Not everybody's gonna see the light show. I'm sorry. Okay, you go to Disneyland and you see like the world of color. Not everyone's gonna see the colors. They're gonna see water spraying out, and that's all right. You'll be all right. You'll be okay. Everyone thinks they're going to see the same thing. It's like this trend. Everyone's like, did you do ayahuasca? As if everyone is going to see the same thing they saw.
Yeah,
they go and so person goes, oh, did you do ayahuasca? And they're like, no. They're like, oh my God, I saw colors. I saw this. I go that. And the person goes and does it. And this person comes to me in a session and says, Shaman Durek, I think it's weird because my friend did ayahuasca and I went to the same person they went to and did the ayahuasca. And all I felt was stomach pains and like rolled on the ground and nothing happened. I said, sorry, but the light show wasn't in the package for you.
So funny. I'm dying.
Sorry, you didn't get the package number 3.
Cost a little more.
Sorry, you didn't get the package with the light show and the spirits dancing around you and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, no, you only got package number 1, okay, and that was just stomach ache and pooping and throwing up.
Oh man.
So yeah, because a lot of people ask us that because, we've had some crazy things happen, but it's like just through our breath or just through, whatever it is. So what do you say to people? Because a lot of times people do feel like they have to do these crazy drugs or do something outrageous, I feel like, to have an experience of themselves.
It's just another addiction. Look,
it is.
The reality of it all is this. If you have to go put something in your system to generate a psychosomatic response, to create some kind of experience for you, then you're not going to believe in your own ability to do that. And what I teach people how to do is to get there themselves. If you feel that you have to go and do that, you're going to be dependent upon that happening again and again and again. Why? Like every coping mechanism, you're going to find it as a way to relieve something, but that means you're going to have to do it again and again. Like I know people who come up to me and said, like, I did ayahuasca last Saturday. I have one coming up this Saturday. Then I'm doing combo. Then I'm doing sapo. And then I'm doing this. I said, oh my God, how many things are you planning on doing? They're like, well, then I was thinking of like doing iboga. And I was wondering like, I'm like, why? They're like, because I want to go deeper, but you're not going deeper. You're only getting as deep as the medicine gives you. And that means that you're going to have to keep going back and you're going to become an addict.
Yes.
It's literally, I have to say, it's just an exchange of addiction. That's how I look at it. It's an exchange of addiction. It's like, oh, I don't do these drugs, but I can do these because it's now everyone is doing it. So it's like, it's the new hot drug with no drug. Drug, no drug. Drug, no drug.
Okay. That's how I intuitively felt because I had a past of doing a lot of drugs like cocaine and ecstasy.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I like have chose not to do any like spiritual drugs or to do it that way so far. And I feel like I've gotten in like arguments about it with people where they feel like if it helps somebody and if it's changed somebody's life, then that's what that person needed. But what do you feel?
I'm sorry, I travel the world. I haven't seen one person who's taken plant medicine and their life changed. All I've heard them say is, I felt love, man. I was like so much love. Even when people do like DMT, I felt so much love and da-da-da-da. And then I go, oh, cool. I go, can I have a hug? And they're like, pat me on the back. I'm like, dude, nothing's changed. Like change does not occur because you had some experience. Change occurs when you actually take action in life and start showing up as this powerful being of unconditional love and being able to love beyond all circumstances and being able to demonstrate that to others. That's where change shows up. Not because people say, I changed my job because I realized that the job I didn't like. You could have did that without the medicine. Now your liver is poisoned. Now your body's poisoned. Now you got to go on a detox. Oh, wait, you can't detox because you're doing it again next Saturday. Oh, wait, you can't detox now because you're doing it again next Saturday. Oh, you can't do it because now you're doing sapo. Now you're doing combo. Now you're doing this. Now you're doing that. It's too much. Your body is a temple, a beautiful, pristine, wonderful, glorious, high vibrating, on vibes, on point, on fleek temple.
Yes! Can I get an amen?
You know what I'm saying? It's a temple. That stuff is like on a next level.
Yeah.
You know, like when you look from the spirit world and you see every human being, they look like beacons of light.
Yes.
And then that light gets tarnished every time they pollute their bodies with some kind of poison.
There's consequences.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, not just the consequence of the pollution, the consequence of the spirits in the darkness who see you like a beacon of Batman in the sky and decide to come and pay you a visit so they can get inside your temple and start messing around with things. And all of a sudden you're wondering why your life is going a certain way, but you're blinded because you think it's all wonderful and everything, but you don't realize the spirits are actually running things inside of you. And before you know it, all of a sudden everything goes the opposite way. And you're like, how did this happen? I'll tell you how it happened. When you did that medicine that time, you know? So in the spirit world, the way it looks is that you look like a Batman signal. with that light in the sky and all the spirits see it and they go and they beam over to you because all they have to do is just beam over to you because it's not like you have to walk in the spirit world. And you just beam over and they see, oh, you have no protection. Oh, the shaman you're doing things with hasn't been trained in the dark arts. He has no idea how to deal with us. Oh, look at this one. This one has insecurities. This one over here, like this, has fear. This one over this. Let's go in there and let's start tinkering with those things. And boom, all of a sudden now you go back and you're like, oh, I had this amazing experience. And the whole time you have the spirit inside of you just feeding off your energy and sucking you and also getting ready to create havoc in your life.
Oh my God.
Parasites, dark beings. You can be a shaman from ayahuasca just because you can take a plant. You can take a plant or a root and mix it into some drink and make people drink it does not make you a shaman. That's what people don't understand. An ayahuasca, a person who does ayahuasca or administrates it is not a shaman. They're called an ayahuascadero. It's a form of like a shaman, but they're not trained in the dark arts, so they don't know the spirits in the underworld. So if any kind of like a Klakian spirit came or a Demicon or any kind of spirits that came in your room when you were a kid, like the shadow being, they don't know what words to say. They don't know what symbols to draw. They don't know Jack Doodle.
Wow.
Okay? No. They have no protection for you. There is no protection. Yeah, you are dealing with someone who just knows how to be able to help you understand your journey, help you understand the medicine you're taking, but they do not have the training in that way. Some of them don't even have the training in physiology and kinesiology and pathology to understand that if you take the medicine by looking at, because shamans, like I can go your veins and I can figure out all kinds of things with your body and I can tell you, you'll have an adverse reaction. You could probably die. And this is probably not the best for you to take. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many people die a year and doing ayahuasca? I was in Ibiza and some people died in Ibiza. People die in Peru. I mean, it's like clockwork. And no, you don't hear about that in the Western world. No one wants to talk about all the deaths that they've been burying all the people who die from taking these plant medicines. No, they're not going to talk about that. It's just like they're not going to tell you what goes on in other countries. And no, because they're going to keep you blind. And make this whole trend blow up and become this nonsense trend. And everyone thinks they're spiritual because they're digesting poison. It's not shamanic at all. Actually, the word shaman means one who knows how to work with magic, one who can talk to all spirits, both from dark and light, one who knows how to protect people from dark and light, and one who's able to intercede with knowledge and spiritual information and symbolism to be able to generate power and energy and magic. That is the reality. It is not based on one who can clip a leaf or take a root or smash it up, or one who lays crystals on you, or one who bangs a drum and blows smoke on you. No, these are not shamanic things, because shamans of the old world don't need tools in order to work their powers. Just like, did you see me use a tool with you ladies before when I showed you? No, I showed you how to access a symbol and gain power. And you felt it in your body. Yeah. And that's it. And the thing is that if I wanted to take you on an intense like roller coaster of a trip, I have symbols and I have sacred words that can take you there too. But you don't need medicine. You don't need poison in your bodies.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I feel like it's so nice to hear that from you from that perspective so that we and other people can really understand what's happening. Because I feel like I intuitively have really felt that very strongly, but I also have talked to so many beautiful people who have had, who feel that that's what they need.
Yeah, that's what they need. That's what everyone says.
Yeah, but it's not.
So a lot of people feel they need alcohol. That's why they go to a bar and drink and get drunk. But do they need it? No. Do they need their cells to be put into a dormant state and toxify their liver? No, but they tell themselves they need it.
Wow. So does a real shaman have to die?
Not necessarily.
Because I know you have shared your story a lot about how your body died.
Yes. It's like this. It depends how much power you want to have.
Okay.
Oh.
Right? So you don't, a real shaman who chooses the shamanic path doesn't have to die, but dying gives you a certain perspective, because when you die and you go to the other side and you leave your body and you pass through the veil, and you see your family and you see what people call heaven looks like and all that, it changes your perception on life. So that when you do come back, the reason why you do take that the death journey, or why shamans do take the death journey on that level, like myself, is so that we have greater perspective, that no one will ever be able to change my perspective of like, God doesn't this, and this is what happens when you die. And like I remember one time a religious friend of mine was saying to me, he was talking about like, yeah, and it says in the Bible when you die and this and da-da-da-da. I'm like, have you died? And he's like, no. I was like, then how do you know? Because I did. So yeah, but you can't argue with me.
Yeah,
because I died.
Yeah.
So I died. I saw what happened. I can tell you everything that happened. I saw what happened. I experienced it. Like I came back. Like I experienced it. So I don't understand. So until you can tell me when you died and you come back in the physical form and tell me what you think is on the other side, you go right ahead. But this isn't a conversation you want to get into, because you don't have any right to talk about these things, because you're just basically speculating and making assumptions off of a book.
Yeah.
I think that the whole, my grandmother actually died for 2 minutes, and she came back and she told me what she saw. And for me, that was what sparked my whole journey. So even just knowing that people have died and have gone to the other side and have seen stuff is pretty incredible to me. Like the fact that you've gone and seen that and experienced, and we've listened to your episode on, I think it was that so retrograde. Yeah.
And Jordan's.
Yeah. It was, I was on the seat of my chair.
Yeah.
Like, whoa,
So definitely for the listeners, if you have not listened to those episodes, go check those out to hear the whole story. Yeah.
All I can tell you is this, is that what we're doing on this earth is ridiculous. I mean, even now I look out the window, I see someone's sign, it has like a number and an advertisement. I think it's ridiculous. On the other side, it's so beautiful, powerful, and beautiful.
What should we do?
Yeah.
Like what?
We have to stop putting our energy towards things that are nonsense and start putting our energy towards things that are actually make sense. Like, for instance, why isn't people campaigning against taking billboards out of the cities?
Good point.
Okay.
Like why? I see everyone marching for women, marching for this, rallying for that, but then billboards with like advertisements constantly selling us things, making us believe that we need something when we really don't, is always up. It's always in our brain space. It's always in our mind space. Mm-hmm. Why do we not start, changing our environment to be conducive to our evolution?
That is a very good point.
I love that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are every time I go into buildings, I don't see enough plants? Where's our interfacing with nature? Where's our interfacing with how we adapt with nature? Why is our technology so me and not we? Why is it not interfacing with nature? Why is it not connecting to solar rays? Why aren't we utilizing things in a different way that actually helps us and improves us? Why is our homes have bad air and bad quality? Why isn't oxygen pumped into our showers while we're taking showers to give us high forms of oxygen, because the water's coming out at the same time? There's all of these things that need to be looked at. And yet it's because the system doesn't want to make you healthy. It doesn't want to support your equilibrium. It doesn't want to see you as a powerful person, because then you'll see the system and you'll realize this system isn't for me. This system is to make me a slave. So this won't work. And then we'll start rallying together and having speakeasies and talking and figuring ways to take down the system. That's why. So what does the system want to do? Make sure you spend a lot of time focusing on Kim Kardashian and a bunch of nonsense. Mm-hmm. It's like, who's wearing what lipstick? Oh my God, who wore this on the red carpet? I want to gag. Who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if she showed up in a bag. I don't care if she showed up in a white dress, a blue dress, a pink dress, a red dress. None of these things are consequentially necessary to even put my mind to, other than the fact of who is putting the energy right now in finding ways to reforest the planet? Who is putting their energy right now in finding ways to create new fisheries and places to keep the waters cycles clean? Who's thinking about ways for us to be able to recreate glaciers while the glaciers are melting? Who's putting their energies to helping solar panels be put on people's homes that are indigenous cultures, so that they are getting solar panels and we can create more reusable energy on the planet? Who is putting their energy in helping empower women to assist them in recognizing their power so they can become the cornerstones of society and start guiding us out of danger? Who are teaching the children the life code so that they don't go and kill animals and kill insects and go and start understanding the value of life so that we start changing the way that we operate and adapt as human beings? Who are the people who are doing these things, finding ways to create turbines and things that are out in the water so that we can have a better oxygen levels and in places around the world? Who are the people doing these things? This is what I want to focus on, not who wore it best.
It's all distractions.
It's
all
a
the other
distraction.
stuff.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's a big distraction.
I'm getting rid of my TV today, actually. That is a massive distraction in my own life. Like things like that, just like get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like just,
I mean, like if I want to watch a movie, I can turn my computer on and go on Netflix if I want to watch a movie. I don't have a TV. I gave a TV a long time ago. It's, and the word TV, it's an Egyptian word, TV set. The word set means to manipulate.
ooh.
Oh, wow.
Well, that thing's leaving the house today.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like...
Confirmation.
Bye.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's the whole mentality. It's like, keep us distracted so we never come into our power. So we'll always be needing the system and always be slaves.
Yeah. I told Britt last night, I was like, she's like, well, just if you want to just put something up. I was like, it's distracting me from everything that I should be doing.
Maybe a couple months ago, working on an album with my friend Jimmy Chamberlain from the Smashing Pumpkins, we were doing a meditation album.
Oh, cool.
And the first thing he said was, no phones in the studio.
Wow.
And I said, why? I wanted to hear his thought on it. And he said, because no great songs from Led Zeppelin or from the Smashing Pumpkins, from any of us would ever been created if we had cell phones sitting in the studios, because your mind keeps looking at the phone and it's distracting you from creating the most amazing music.
Wow. Yeah, it takes you out of the present.
Takes you out of the present of your creativity.
Wow. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's your thought on phones? Like how do
I deal with them?
Yeah, how do you deal with them?
I mean, I have to deal with them, as you know, because I have my Instagram and the shaman. There's a time I was staying away from media for a long time, and then finally, like, my publicist was like, "You need to realize that there's a world happening here, and this is what happens. And if you want to launch a book, you're not going to launch a book with no Instagram." Like, that's your new calling card.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, God, okay. But, so the way that I deal with it is this monitoring, being mindful of using it for the Instagram, making sure I'm putting the messages, and then I put the phone away. If I'm at a dinner table, I put the phone away. I don't want to see it. I put it away from me because then it keeps me, I want to be able to hear what people are talking about,
Right, yeah.
I like Liv Tyler's whole thing, which is like, put the phones on the table, and the person who goes to pick up the phone first buys everyone dinner.
I love that.
She's a smart one.
I haven't heard that.
Well, I feel like we could talk to you for hours.
Yeah,
And
we would love to have you back on and do sessions with you. And we love
Absolutely.
everything you're doing in the world.
seriously.
Thank you.
Like everything you literally listed that you think people should be doing is what we hope to be a part of. And we really...
Not hope to be a part of.
Okay.
Change your wordage.
Okay.
We are
We
doing.
are doing.
And we
We are
are
doing.
expressing our energies through those things.
We are expressing our energies through
Remember,
those things.
there's no future.
There's no
Okay.
future.
You're already doing it.
Okay. Done with the future.
We're done with the future. Yeah.
I'm not
Thank
doing
you.
anything. I
Okay.
am in it already.
I
I'm
am
in
in
it.
it. Creating that
And then,
positive change, being
it's
part
weird
of the
'cause,
solution.
I've
you're-
created that positive
Yeah,
change.
because
I've
your body
created.
wants to go, it's going to happen in the future. It's like, no, it's happening now.
That's right.
And
You're already in it.
You're in
Okay.
it because your mind has created it. So then the next moment, now you're going to start seeing it materialize because you're still in it, right?
That's right. Well, it's like this. It's like, so if you were to say what you said, right?
Okay.
Instead of saying, I hope that, that's the way we're doing this and
Yes.
that, you just simply say, I love how we've been putting our energy into connecting into this, into this, into that. So try saying it that way. Don't try
Okay.
saying it. Take the word try out. Thank you guys for correcting me.
Thank you.
Say it that way.
So
It's been amazing.
it's been amazing to be a part of the solution and to be putting our energy behind these powerful, transformative actions in the world.
That's right. See?
That
And
feels better
It feels better and
Yes.
it is truthful.
because it doesn't feel like you have to
Do
you don't have to
something.
hop
Yeah.
over anything to get there. It's like, no. we're already there.
That's right.
And then it feeds into the you're good enough for me.
That's right.
It's like not like you're not good enough yet. It's like you're good enough.
The energies feed to you the truth of your words.
Right.
So you get more of it. So I say the cup is never empty. It's always full. You know, it's like people always say like, love yourself. I think it would be the new age people will say like, you got to love yourself, brother. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't be on the street right now wearing this jacket and these pants and these shoes if I didn't love myself, because I'd be afraid that someone might say something and I went to go take off my clothes in front of them. So the truth of the matter is what you want to say is not, I have to love myself. It's, I need to enhance more love for myself.
Okay.
It's never empty. It's always full.
Always more. Asking for
just
more.
more.
I'm enhancing my meditations.
I like that
I'm
word.
enhancing more love for myself. You know, I'm going higher. Like what are you saying? It's elevate global.
Yes, elevate the globe.
Elevate the globe. So I'm elevating the globe and I'm enhancing more ways to elevate the globe. You see? It's never empty. It's never without. It's never zero.
Perfect.
Thank you.
This is going to be so helpful for a lot of people listening. Honestly, we covered a lot today. I'm going to have to re-listen because I feel like I blacked out a little bit.
Oh, you did?
You did?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you see my aura?
Of course.
What is it?
Pink and orange.
Ooh. What does that mean?
Pink and orange means that you have some decisions to make around like really following your heart and finishing a project that needs to be done and getting it like completed. So it means like it's not about putting things on hold. It's about completing things. So looking at your creativity, looking at what that represents, how do you bring that out in a bigger way and get out of your way to bring it out? So it just means that you're in a creative energy space and that your spirit's bringing all these things up for you to be able to look at so that you can actually bring to completion. It also means not second guessing yourself as well. So the understanding of like accepting what's coming through without having to put so much thought on it and actually just step right into action with it.
Oh, okay. That resonates so much. Wow.
What about
These words resonate. These are so new age. It's so interesting.
Oh, okay. What should I say instead?
Yeah.
Let me just tell you what resonate. The whole reason why I have I'm not into the whole resonate thing. Someone will say to me, that doesn't resonate with me. Well, reality is, if you actually drew your attention to it, it does. So look at the fact that it does resonate with you and just change the words because it does. If you say, oh, well, that person's negativity doesn't resonate with me. Yeah, it does because you just focused on it. So it resonates. Energy is based on perception, right? So you can simply say, I'm aligned in that truth.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
About it. Okay.
I'm aligned in that truth. Thank you for sharing that for me.
Thank you for sharing
that or revealing that what I already know or whatever it may be.
Okay.
But I resonate. I resonate. I was like, people in their heart hugs and like, just
drop it.
It's too much.
Okay.
It's too much.
Thank you.
Next, it's Louise Hayes and, it's saying I am this and I am that and people thinking these things are really going to change or now it's a secret. Now it's like I'm going to attend myself to have a car. Really? How? When you have a belief system inside that tells you don't want a car.
It's all about the beliefs.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, these little things are great and they sound wonderful. And don't get me wrong, like I really appreciate the people who put their energy out in creating it, but it's literally commercialized. It's like, I'm sorry, no. Like I remember my friend got The Secret and was like, okay, so all I have to do is just like, get into this space. Like I intend this and I intend that. Yeah, but you're looking at the future. So the process time of it coming in is going to be a long time, buddy. But if you go into the past with it and follow the shamanic way of understanding quantum physics, you will have it very soon. It's the big difference. It's like you can say, I am beautiful. I am that. And the I am of these things is in the now present. But if you can say, I love how amazing it's been just acknowledging my beauty. I love how beautiful it's been to just feel the energy of beautiful people around me all the time. Now you're speaking from past terms. So now tomorrow, a whole new world has started. From mud to a whole new destination.
Okay.
I feel very empowered by this conversation right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to go start practicing this right now.
I do too.
Yeah. So we have two last quick questions we always ask. What is your favorite way to elevate yourself?
My favorite way to elevate myself is to sing out loud and to write poetry and to hug people and also just, talk to myself. Like I talk to myself a lot. Like even on the way over here, I was talking to myself. I was like, thank you for being you. Thank you for doing that event the other night. Thank you for the beautiful things that you think about people. Thank you for always bringing light into the lives of people. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for this. Like I'm always going into this beautiful, I call it soul talk. So I talk to myself. Like, I love how you're always entering a room and you're like a breath of fresh air to people. I love when you're near people, you're healing their cells and their body just by standing next to them. I love how you always come up with amazing ideas. I love how creative you are. I love how you're always thinking in creative ways and that you see in between dimensions. I love how you're always opening up to different levels of spiritual understandings and being willing to travel as far as the universe, which is endless. I love your quantum realities of things. I love how you're constantly drawing love into yourself. And I just say these things over to myself. And what it does, it elevates me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel so good. Just all those things. I need to start telling myself these things.
Well, and you're a really good hugger, by the way.
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I felt so good.
Thank you. I love hugging.
It was like a good 10 seconds of just joy.
We knew we would love you.
I love you too.
And then lastly,
go ahead, Britt.
If you had a microphone in your hand, which you did, and if the whole world was listening, what would your message be?
My message would be that all of you are powerful beings. And it is important to recognize that you've done nothing wrong. You are all here to shine and share and expand your light into the world. You are powerful beyond anything you could possibly imagine. I want you all to live free, to recognize the joy of living, and to let go of anything that you feel is uncomfortable or painful in your life. And know that you are allowed to have a wonderful life. Go forward with joy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Chills all over. And I laughed so much. I love your laugh. It's so contagious. Thank you so much, Shaman Durek.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you, lovely
you.
ladies. Thank you, my darlings.
Wow.
Multiple mic drops.
Really, the whole time. I know. He had me kind of wide-eyed, oh yeah. Yeah.
We loved so much of what Shaman Durek talked about. We loved our conversation.
It was a little bit vulnerable for me to actually go into some of my own stuff on the podcast, but hey, whatever, right?
Yes. And we loved how he talks about manifesting and what he shared about how there is no future. So although we are so big into co-creation with the universe and we practice manifesting, having the mindset and hearing this from him in the way that he described it was so helpful for us. And we hope that it really helped you guys too. And the other thing that we really loved is him talking about the way that he talks to himself and how he really brings in that love and compassion to the way that he talks to himself every day. And this is such a big part of having a beautiful life of joy. And he really exemplifies that. He's so happy and joyful and brings in humor and love into everything. And knowing that he really talks to himself and tells himself how beautiful he is and all of the good things about himself really is so cool. And it makes so much sense. I mean, everything starts in our mind. And if you have those kind and loving thoughts, and if you command the energy in the way that he does, and if you really love yourself and tell yourself how much you love yourself all the time, then you're going to start to feel so good. And I've really started doing this all the time and more than ever, and just in a different way after hearing the way that he does it.
Yeah, it's good to practice, right? It's a good thing to practice because I even started doing it. I was like, oh, I'm not I'm not sure what I even want to say right now. I'm like, oh, I got to practice that because there's so many good things.
Yes.
You know, like that's something fun to try.
In the car.
Yeah. When you're by yourself.
Whenever, yeah.
In the bathtub, in the shower. Have a little pep chat.
You're a badass. So we are so grateful to have had Shaman Durek on the show. He's so aligned with Elevate the Globe, and we're so happy to be connected with him and to share more about shamanism with you guys, with one of the best shamans we know. Actually, I don't really know any other shamans.
I don't either.
But we know he's one of the best, and we love him so much.
Yes, we appreciate all the work he does in this world.
So powerful and beautiful.
Yes. So let's get into some lobby talk.
Yay!
So last week we hosted our 5-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge, and we had over 2,000, like 2,200 people joining us from all over the globe.
All of you amazing beings.
I know. And it was really special for us to be able to connect with all of you. And we really, throughout the 5 days, we were really feeling, in our heart centers, really opening and feeling you guys and feeling the group energy. And as we went through the week, we could really feel the group, even elevating in just a couple days. It was really powerful. And for us, what really started to come up a lot was, the first sutra of the Aquarian age that Yogi Bhajan gave. And that first sutra, we actually talked about the third sutra a couple weeks ago. But the first sutra is recognizing that the other person is you. And for us, that was so cool because, we're all kind of seeing each other as the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we open up our hearts and when we connect in this group energy and when we really connect in conscious groups to uplift our energy, it really has such a powerful effect on each of us individually. And so, yeah, we can start to really tap into that sutra and we can really recognize that we're all the same. We're all one. Everybody is a mirror for us. Everyone that you come into contact with is a mirror, and we all have something to teach each other. We all have something to gain and share and exchange when we're coming in contact with each other, especially in these high vibrational groups and in these beautiful ways, like with our 5-day challenge. So to have so many of you guys opening up and sharing and just having so many breakthroughs and just hearing more about everybody's stories and just seeing everybody form friendships and us get to know you guys better and connect more, just really brought up that sutra for us. And it's such a good one to have and to always remember, realize the other person is you. And we truly are all connected. We're all human beings. We're all living on planet Earth. We all want to be happy. And, so many of us are like-minded and like-hearted in this community. So it's nice.
Yeah. And what that sutra really, means to me is there's just a lack of judgment completely. It's just not there. Because where there's compassion, there is no judgment.
Yes. Yeah. So beautiful to connect in this way.
Yes.
So we are so excited for so many of you guys to continue on this journey of living a high vibrational lifestyle with us. And it's so exciting, like for the people that did their first Kundalini class.
I know, there were so many people.
Right?
That was really special.
Oh my gosh. I know that literally makes our whole life worth it.
I know. We even did like just shoulder shrugs, in a Kriya, and people were having the craziest reactions because it moves a lot of energy and we all hold a lot of tension in the shoulders. So simple move, breathing through it, and people were, breaking through things. It was really rad.
So awesome.
Yeah. Like how cool.
Right? So if you guys missed the challenge, you can always check out the replays and sign up at elevatetheglobe.com/raise your vibration.
Yeah.
And that's our lobby talk.
That was,
right?
Talking in the lobby.
Important.
It is important,
to just have that compassion. Everyone's at different places in their lives. We all have people around us, family, friends, people we come into contact with that are going through different things, are at different stages. And
all we can do instead of, judging people is loving people and just, holding space for them, whatever they're going through.
Yes.
And know that they're just the same as you.
Exactly.
They're just maybe at a different stage of their life.
We're all the same.
Yeah. All the same. Little love bugs.
So we love you all so, so, so much. And we're excited for so many of you guys joining our 528 Academy and for that to be growing so, so, so much more.
The collective energy of groups meditating and doing the same work together and following the astrology and connecting and really tapping into their own group consciousness is huge change for the globe. So for us, this is literally it makes my heart so happy and makes me want to cry a little bit because it's pretty powerful. And we're as a group all making great change in the world. And what a better way, for me to be living here on the planet. It makes me so grateful.
So true.
And for the opportunity to be able to, create a group like this and then everyone to step in and then they're, doing their work and then they're taking it out to their communities. It's so badass.
Yes, you guys are powerful.
It's so cool. Yeah. I love it so much.
So amazing. And
yeah,
that's
the
it.
show. That's a wrap.
We're in the retrograde. If you guys didn't see the video on Instagram about the retrograde,
go watch it. Little nut right over here.
And may the retrograde not even know you exist. And may the pure light within you guide your way on.
Satnam.
Go give someone a big hug and squeeze them like the Shaman Durek does.
Yeah, for
a big squeeze.
A good 8 seconds.